Yo, welcome back to the Triple Crown Podcast. As always, your boy Vinny and my man Rush. And today we'll be doing an album review on Nas Magic 2. Of course, hit that like, subscribe, and follow button, man. We will definitely appreciate it. But of course, Rush, let's go ahead and get this started.
For sure, for sure. As y'all know, I'm a huge Nas fan. This is Nas' fifth project now with Hit Boy. Since they decided to finally start doing music together. They did King Disease 1, 2, 3, Magic 1, and then this last one, Magic 2. So yeah, it's been a nice collab that's been going strong for a couple years now. Nas officially teased the album, I think a day prior to the release, which was last Thursday. So it actually released on July 21st. So yeah, it's been cool seeing a Nas joint just come up by surprise. It wasn't on anybody's radar.
That's facts, though. I mean, look, that like you said, that's your guy, right? I'm surprised you didn't know about that personally.
Nah, I actually, if you follow the Triple Crown podcast on Instagram, I actually shared it to a story. Make sure you guys follow. But yeah, I shared it to the story, man, and I was like, "Oh, okay, some new Nas is coming." But as far as like anything else, that was the only thing. But that was pretty much how the world was notified too, just the IG post. So you know,
Facts. All right. So initial readings though, before we get into the track list, like what you think about the album?
um, I thought it was a good album. You know, looking at the track list, well, Magic 2 wasn't that long, either. I think Magic 1, excuse me, wasn't a long album. So I looked at the track list, so I was like, "All right, cool." I expected to be like a similar type style of EP for my initial look at it. What about yourself?
It was straight. I just feel like once again Nas is just trying to just keep that hip hop, that classic hip hop alive in this day and age. So like, yeah, it was okay. I'm more of
For
a Jay
sure.
Z guy. I'm more of a Jay Z guy personally, but would pick either or. So yeah,
For
it's
sure,
alright.
for sure. I know one thing that did surprise me on here was seeing 21 Savage as a feature. But
Really?
that track released a while ago though, but I wasn't really tracking it like that, but I'm more of an album listener than a single listener, but when I saw 21, I was like, "Okay, this should be interesting."
Okay. So let me go ahead and get into the track list real quick, man. Number one on the album of Magic 2 is Intro, 2 Abracadabra, 3 Office Hours featuring 50 Cent, 4 Black Magic, 5 Motion, 6 Bokeem Woodbine, 7 Earvin Magic Johnson, 8 What This All Really Means, 9 Slow It Down, 10 Pistols on Your Album Cover, and 11 One Mic One Gun featuring 21 Savage. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how'd you feel about it, sir, Mr. Jay-Z listener?
All right. So honestly, man. So look, I'm a fan of King Disease more than the Magic series, personally.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I feel like Magic 2, it wasn't hitting for me as much. I say it was okay. I made only like 3 songs on the album in total. And
Okay.
those 3 songs on the album that I like are Bokeem Woodbine, Pistols on Your Album Cover, and What This All Really Means. Those are my top 3 tracks.
Okay. How did you feel the production was on this album?
I felt like it was there. Like when it pertains to Nas, I would never like doubt his production, like his team, but even like I said, we got Hit Boy on it. So like I feel like it's
Right.
like Nas from that era of the '90s. He will always have the production, no matter what. But some of the lyrics, it just wasn't hitting for me, man. Like it wasn't.
Go ahead.
Nah.
I will say on here, from a lyrical standpoint, Nas kept it very, very simple, which ain't
Yeah.
a bad thing. We in the era of a lot of like simple rhyme schemes. But one thing that did stand out was not like his punchline specifically, but it was actually his cadence. His cadence on a bunch of songs was really good. Like the way that he came into certain songs and flows, his cadence was really good and real polished on this album. That's one thing I appreciated. But from a straight up lyrical standpoint, I agree. I don't think Nas was throwing the double and triple entendres and the metaphors and stuff like that and similes as hard as he sometimes normally does. But you know, it was still cool. It was still Nas, so it was still certain things that hit for me.
All right, so before we get into your top tracks, do you feel like he rushed this album? It being 11 songs and only being 32 minutes?
No, I don't think it was rushed. I think that he did it on his own timing. Yeah, I don't think Nas is at a point where he's rushing anything with Hit Boy. And then even on I think Abracadabra, he had mentioned he was like, by the time you hear this one, we already working on the next one. So, you know, so he's constantly working on something new. So I think he just wanted to get it out just to get some tracks out. And how I personally feel the Magic series has been now is just kind of throwaway tracks from the King's Disease.
Wow, okay, and that says a lot. Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it has an essence and a feel to it, like, it's cohesive, but I
Yes.
still feel like it's like, "Alright, here's some tracks that didn't really make our the King's Disease album or is a little something different. Let's just throw it out there just to throw it out."
Okay. Alright, so what's your top 3 tracks on the, album?
So, we have a lot of similarities when it comes to our top 3, bro. My number 1, though, What This All Really Means, I feel like that track was just special. I think I have it as the 2nd best produced track on the album. The feel of the song, it was a good mood, good vibe, and then it's almost like had a beginning to end story, like, going throughout Nas's history. Irving Magic Johnson, I think, has the hardest beat on the song, and his flow that he just goes in on that, I was like, "Okay, Irving Magic Johnson," you know what I'm saying? Bokeem Woodbine, I like that song, shout out to Bokeem, AKA Can't Get Right, you know what I'm saying, for those who don't know. And then, One Mic, One Gun with 21 Savage. I know that's a little bit more than the normal 3 that we give, but that production on that track, I had to throw it in there because Hit Boy did his thing on there, and how 21 and Nas went back and forth was solid, real solid.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, then what are your what are your skip tracks? What are some of your skip tracks on the album?
Well, I just had one really, like, hard dislike track, and it was Motion, and that was just because of his rapping was good, but the hook and the tempo was just it was just bad to me. I wasn't feeling it. And then especially coming in between Black Magic and Bokeem Woodbine, which I feel like are good polished songs, and the beat and the hook for Black Magic was something that stood out to me. But yeah, in between that motion, I just wasn't feeling it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Um, I see, it's funny you said that. I definitely would agree with that. So my top or my skippable tracks on the album, definitely Motion, Abracadabra, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm sorry, Irving Magic Johnson. I definitely did not like that song. And to honestly, to give you one more, I didn't like the 21 Savage track, yo. Didn't like that one.
Really
Yeah, man.
interesting.
I just felt like it was like 21, 21 coming on the track. It didn't hit. It didn't hit for me, man. It just didn't hit for me. It just felt like you. It just didn't hit. It's hard to describe it, man. But the feeling when you turn on a track and oh yeah, like we said, we both agree with what this already means. But for me, yeah, 21, it's just didn't hit.
Interesting. Now we gotta talk about this Irvin Magic Johnson track because the beat was absolutely fire. And then in the hook, it had the Left Eye reference to her setting on fire what's his face house? Andre Andre's house. You know about that? So like back in I can't remember, it was sometimes in the 90s, right? But Left Eye was with this dude, I think he was a football player, and I guess she had found him cheating and set his house on fire.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheesh. Sheesh.
Yeah. But, like, the whole feel of the album to me was well, that song to me was like, "Alright, this was cool." Especially talking about Magic Johnson with gentrification and stuff.
That's facts. But for me, it was his rapping, man. I just felt like it was too basic. Like, I feel like that beat was kind of just like was a basic beat, bro. I feel like it wasn't like yeah. I felt like it was a
Yeah, but
basic
the
beat.
bass hit so hard, though.
Yeah. And well, like the remedy of the song. Dun, dun,
And
dun, 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 dun. I'm like, you know,
and the pauses when he got to the part when he was talking so after each verse, at the end of it, he, gave a shout out to, Heavy D, Jay Dilla, and, who was it? Heavy D, Jay Dilla, and Milk D, right? He gave a shout out in that period, and when that time came in his verse, he like calmed Hit Boy kind of calmed the verse down again, and then it picked right back up. I was like, all right, that was a cool little break after those points. It wasn't like it was a consistent, constant like dun 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 like that. It had a pause and then went back to it.
yeah, I mean, honestly, when you're able to slow down the beat and put a different flow into the beat, I honestly, personally, I like that no matter what,
Right.
especially if it could flow. But Lounge, I'm sorry, man, nah, it just didn't hit for me, bro.
Okay.
Nah, man. Every other, even the Office Hours with 50 Cent, I like that beat more than this.
Oh, that song was cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like office hours and shout out, he actually mentioned in there where he say he hit 105 and did a crazy tirade. I'm surprised I acted that way. Back in the day after, I wanna say between the Jay and Nas beef, right, your mans, right?
right.
He got on Power 105, diss him, uh, Cam, Hot 97 and Nori basically like calling everybody out, calling out all of them and they support for Jay, and basically saying that those rappers need to produce better music instead of just talking about, money and cars and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shout out to that. Shout out to that interview, man. It's out there on the web. We might link it in here.
We
But
definitely
yeah,
will, though. We definitely will. But hey,
yeah.
it's all right though. J all day. But no, I will say like, um, real quick. Let me just ask you this. So, what do you give this album? What do you rate this album?
Out of our five, I would give it a three and a half.
Three and a half.
Three and
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna give
half.
it. Okay, okay, okay. For this album, for me, I'm giving it a 3.
Three.
Yeah, yeah. I just feel like I said, when it pertains to like the Kings to Seas series, like I feel like, man, that's 5 out of 5, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you, but like you mentioned earlier, I don't know. The album just don't hit. Magic is not hitting the same for me, but it pertains to King Disease.
Yeah, in fairness to how I rate this, if it was just like a solo project, right? I would rate it differently, but because I kind of have in mind of all of them, so I'm considering Magic, King's Disease 1, 2, and 3. That's kind of what had me going to 3.5 because I think it's like out of all of that, this is the second to last for me in my rankings as to King's Disease 1. So I would
Okay,
have I'll just rank them and then you can give me yours. So we'll do King's Disease 2 for me, King Disease 3, Magic 1, Magic. I'll probably put King's Disease 1 and then Magic 2. Magic 2 will be last right now, but get at me in about maybe a month. This might age on me a little bit more and I might be like, all right, cool. But yeah, that's where I would rank it right now. King's Disease 2, 3, Magic 1, um, King's Disease 1, and then Magic 2.
okay, similar. For me, it's King Disease 2, King's Disease 3, King Disease 1. Try to say that 3 times fast, kind of crazy.
Right,
um,
right, right.
but then I would have to say Magic 2 and then Magic 1 personally. Yeah.
Oh, we gotta talk. Okay, so we gotta talk about Matt, the first Magic off air because nah, bro, not Woo for the Children, 416 building. Come on, man. I
No,
don't
but
know.
Yeah, look. I give this album a 3 just because I would disclaimer. It's been a while since I listened to Magic One, but also I probably only listened to it a few times too. I would throw out that
Okay.
disclaimer, but cause like I said, I'm not really a Nas guy, so like when Magic One came out, it's like okay, cool, let's listen to it, but since we are doing this for the podcast a little bit, I definitely did listen to it a little bit more. So like,
King's Disease 1. I mean not King's Disease 1. Magic 1, bro. You missing it with Wave Gods. You missing it, bro. You really missing it. But yeah. Yeah. This has been it's been fun, you know what I'm saying? Last episode when we did an album review, we did Young Thug, you know what I'm saying? The link to that will be above. And I ain't the biggest Thugger fan, but this is right up my alley, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is
me too, me too, bro. But I'm saying I was expecting a little bit more better lyrics, like from Nas. I'm not gonna hold you, like I was expecting a little bit more, man.
okay. I was expecting a lot more from 50 Cent, if we gonna talk like that.
I
Because
ain't
that
gonna hold you,
verse
bro.
was
What nine bars,
yeah.
something like that, like
Yeah,
yeah.
and then he hit us with the ultimate troll because he came in like he was about to go, like, spit, right? With that fast, like, cadence, and then it just died off. I was like, "50, come on, bro." I like, "Come on, Fifth, come on, man." And Nas washed him in that song. I think that's one of his best like, the cadence and all of that. I think that was Nas's probably best performance was on Office Hour. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Hey, look. So how did you feel about Abracadabra, real quick? I really did not like that song, man. I
Abracadabra was
really did.
okay. I have no real issue with it. I like when he said about the whole Puff and Mace thing. Now he got a budget to waste. I thought that was kind of clever because Puffy and Mace had their little dispute about Mace saying Puffy don't pay his artists, but I thought it was all right. It wasn't my favorite though, but yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But this is the Triple Crown Podcast doing an album review on Nas, the GOAT, Magic 2, and we are out.